Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another profitable trade recap today using the ScalperPro stochastic RSI trading strategy on US30 during a 3-hour timing window. And I would say let's get right into it. Alright, yet again we are on a US30 5-minute time frame chart using the ScalperPro indicator right up here. We are hiding it because we only need the candle coloring information. That's all we care about using this strategy. That's usually why I'm hiding it, because I don't want to be distracted. I only want to focus on what's really important. And next to the ScalperPro, we use the Session Pro and the stochastic RSI indicator. Now it's 1:55, and with that next candle closed, the London session is officially opened for us. We see we did not get an entry because the candle color is still bullish, and we also already touched the 20 level right here on the stochastic RSI. So with that very next candle, we see we got a bullish close above the VWAP, but yet the stochastic RSI did not give us our green signal right here to go long. We can check the scalper overlay as well. We can see that we got a, actually let me turn on the strategy signals. We can see that we got a valid signal right before the session, which also would have hit our take profit target. I'm going to do some testing on those first trades prior to the session, because they look like most of them are working out, and I just want to see the win rate within that first hour pre-session to see if it might be worth it to actually start an hour earlier. Alright, anyway, all we're preparing now for is a bullish entry. Our stop loss placement depends on that very next candle. Will likely be the swing low, because I do not want to place my stop loss all the way down here, or the ATR indicator, which would even be a bigger stop loss, I think. But we will see about that once we get our entry. Because right in replay mode it might look a little bit difficult, but we actually sit in front of the charts for 5 minutes preparing for that long. We already know it's very likely that a potential entry is coming up at this point in time. So during the next 5-minute candle, we already know 1 or 2 minutes in advance that we get the signal. Most of the times. Of course, sometimes it's a little bit iffy, especially if we are hovering around the VWAP, and we have to make sure that the candle is closing above the VWAP. So with that very next candle, we got a nice little hammer right here. So we had a nice wick to the downside, which also coincides with our long entry. So we place our entry at the close of this candle. If we turn off the ScalperPro, we see it's actually a bearish colored candle. So the closing price of this candle is right here. Our stop loss is going to be the swing low. The members on the Discord, actually, most of them got it right as well. Some of them placed their stop loss using the ATR, which is fine as well, or using this prior swing low. But I wanted to keep it small, because in case I'm going to get stopped out, we also would be likely to receive a short entry. So, and another reason would be that my take profit target is below the most recent swing high, so very easy to hit my take profit target. Let's see how this trade would have played out. We see that we got a nice pin bar rejection again from this exact same level, right where this wick also rejected, but the momentum didn't follow through, and right now it's 2:25, so we still have some time before the London Open. We see we're hovering around the VWAP, so we're accumulating either long or shorts right now. We don't know. We got our long entry, so that's all we can do at this point in time. And again, we see that the bulls, they appear to have the upper hand right here. Every time price is going below the VWAP, it's being rejected immediately. We even had a opening gap to the downside. Right here we had the close of this candle, and that new candle open up right here, and yet again bulls pushed it up. But with that candle at 2:45, we have been stopped out of our trade. Even if you would have placed your stop loss right here at the body low, the ATR or the swing low, we would have been stopped out, not on this candle but on that very next candle. The good thing, actually also not on this one, I think the candle right after this one, but because we placed our stop loss right here, we actually had the opportunity to catch this momentum trade to the downside. Because right now, we have a bearish colored candle, a bearish crossover, and we close below the VWAP. So ideal stop loss placement. Again, we can use the ATR for reference. What would the ATR say? The ATR would say stop loss all the way up here for 18 pips. I, because of this big candle, placed a 1 bar stop right here at the high of the candle. If we're completely reversing after this momentum candle to the downside, I do not want to be in that trade all the way up till here, because if we're already above here, it's likely to continue long, and the stochastic RSI would also be likely to give us a new long entry. So placing my stop loss at the swing high makes the most sense to me. Alright, we are going to target a 1 to 1.5 for our break-even point. And for our take profit, we are going to target a simple yet very profitable 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So next candle, we can see we have been stopped out. This was actually the London Open candle. I was already prepared that this trade is going to hit my stop loss, so no surprise. And if we have a close look at it, right here at 3 AM, we would have actually almost got a long entry but we did not close above the VWAP, so yet we have to be patient. And those are one of those close calls that I talked about earlier. The candle was moving during this 5-minute period. It went up above the VWAP, and then we would have had our long entry, our valid long entry, but it did not happen on this candle. So if you, I don't know, within that last 5 or 10 seconds, if you entered a little bit too early, you would have actually entered on a false signal. But this is what happened. Not but this is what happened. So if you would have entered right here, this would have been on you. It's not a valid signal because we did obviously not close above the VWAP. I think we hit our 1 to 1.5 or with this trade, but yet we've been stopped out. So not much we can do about it. And I think on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, we caught this drop after the London opening to the downside. And on the Discord server, we've already been prepared to, okay, we're going to miss out on this drop. Yet what actually happened is we closed above the VWAP with a bullish candle and a bullish crossover yet again. So what do? We take this trade, and that's actually a very beautiful trade because we have a massive momentum candle to the upside with a massive wick to the downside right here after London Open, triggering shorts into the market, liquidating some old long positions that might still be in from Asia that trade their stop loss with prices moving higher. So we got our entry. We targeted a simple 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So let's see how this trade played out. Sorry about that. And momentum obviously continued after this momentum candle. I think we did not hit break even yet. Our break even level sits smoothly right up here at a 1.5 risk to reward ratio. So our take profit at 2 risk to reward ratio. Let's see how this would have played out. If you would have chosen a smaller stop loss, like for example, if you would have used the ATR right here, your break even point, because the ATR is right inside of that candle at the time of the candle close. If we take a close look at it, right here, now actually the ATR would have lined up with the swing low. So no reason for us to choose a smaller stop loss than that, because if you would have done it, your break even level would have been further down and you would have been stopped out at break even. So let's see, we've been rejected by the VWAP here twice with 1, 2, 3 wicks actually to the downside. Nice pattern to see. I know we got a bearish crossover on the stock RSI, but we do not focus on that while we're in the trade. Alright, we hit our break even level, so now our stop loss is effectively at our entry. So we are now running risk free, waiting for our take profit to be hit, which has been done very nicely on that very next candle. So initially we had a really rough beginning of the session with 2 losing trades, but eventually we turned it around, and after this trade we successfully broke even. We did not win anything and we also didn't lose anything. But it's only 3:45 and the session is not over yet, so we still have the chance to make some profit today. And therefore we get a bullish crossover below the 50 level. You know the entry condition, I do not have to repeat it. So let's wait and see. We got this nice move to the downside. The stochastic RSI is also coming down. I was a little bit prepared for a short entry right here because it wouldn't have required much for it to close below the VWAP with a white colored candle, but that's not what happened. We now are below the 50 level on the stock RSI, so I was prepared for both, to be honest, but with that very next candle, things already basically told me that we are not going to enter into a short because the stochastic RSI went below the 20 level. So what do? We already prepare our drawing tool. We measure out our likely stop loss, which for me would have been this low of this wick. You could have also placed it at the ATR, which also would coincide with this low, the VWAP, sorry. And the ATR, let's look at the ATR. The ATR is also very close to the VWAP. So overall, the swing low would have been a nice stop loss placement. But we still have to wait for our bullish crossover. And we got it on that very next candle. So we entered into this trade. If we check the ATR again, we see that it's perfectly sitting slightly even above the VWAP, yet I still chose the swing low because it perfectly lined up with the VWAP in the end of the day. So what do? We target a simple 1 to 1.5. And yet again, we have another chance to make 2% profit for the day. Alright, let's see. Our take profit is set at 2 to 1 risk to reward. And this trade, if I remember correctly, took a while to play out. We saw it went to the upside, but we still had some resistance right here. But not much we can really do about it. And with that very next candle right here, not the very next, but I think this one, also not this one, no, still not. This one, we got actually very close to our stop loss, but yet it did not trigger. And we did not hit our stop loss, so we are still good. We are still in our trade with a nice stop loss placement. And we can see that the stochastic RSI now cooled down, and we likely actually turn around. So it's the end of the session. I think I already went to the gym at this point in time, so I did not notice it live. I have my trade assistant automatically moving my stop loss to break even once we breach that 1.5 risk reward level, and everything else is already set, so I don't need to be in front of the charts after the 3-hour timing window is over. That's my working hour window. Alright, so let's see how this trade played out. We see we had a nice bounce off the VWAP, also a new bullish entry in case you might have missed that one, yet it's outside of the London kill zone. Let's extend this a little bit to the right and see how it would have played out. So we see we tapped that resistance again. Again, we get a bearish crossover. And with this momentum candle to the upside, we almost hit our break-even level. We did not trigger break-even on this candle. We got our pullback, but we did not hit our entry again. We bounced off this resistance, so all support and resistance traders who might have taken this trade also well done, but we already got our entry at an earlier stage. So let's see, I think with a big momentum candle we actually hit our take profit target, and this was not just a small candle, this was a very big candle. If we measure it out, this was a candle that ranged, let's have a look, I don't even have this much space on my chart. This was a almost 100 pip candle, so that's not bad at all. So all the support and resistance traders today who actually caught this trade, also very well done. And also everyone who's trading the ScalperPro strategy successfully made 2% profit today with fixed trading rules, with fixed trading hours, because that's most of the time if you trade a support and resistance strategy or any other strategy, they require you to basically monitor the charts 24/7 because you don't know that this is happening exactly at this time. So for you to actually profit or benefit of this support and resistance bounce that we saw right here, where resistance has been turned into support, then we had this massive move to the upside, the possibility of you maybe having lunch or whatsoever is very high, because like said, if you trade, for example, the London session, you would have to be there until this happens. We, using the ScalperPro stochastic RSI strategy, we have our fixed timing window of 3 hours that when we have to be in front of the charts. That's all we care about. Anything outside of those kill zones does not matter to me. My day is over. I get back after a 3-hour lunch break to trade the New York kill zone. And yeah, that's basically it. So very well done to all the traders on our Discord community and of the AZ community. I hope you enjoyed trading today. I know it did not look like we're going to make some profit after those first 2 losing trades, but that's part of using a strategy. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. We successfully made another 2% profit during the London kill zone. So right now we're looking at a total net profit only during London of 7%. I will cover all this in the weekly trade recap when I'm filling out the backtesting spreadsheet. Until then, I will be back live streaming for the New York kill zone as well. I will see you on Discord or on our live stream. Take care, and as always, trade safe.